that gospel the deacon just proclaimed from Luke is one of my favorites. And I think it's perfect for the Lenten season. Because really, if we listen to that story about the son who wanders off and spends a lot of money and does things that he shouldn't do, and then comes back to the father to say he's sorry. The father in that story, well, let me see if you caught the story. Anybody remember what did the father do when the son came back? Yes, sir. Very good, Lucas. He forgave him. That's what it's all about. The father in the story is abundantly merciful. You probably know what the word abundant means. It means a whole lot. And the father in the story is really merciful. He could have said, no, son, you took the money and you did bad things. I'm not going to forgive you, but he didn't say that. He said, he embraced him and said, you're welcome home. You're my son. And that's a perfect Lenten story, because during Lent, that's what we're all asking God the Father. And you see on the cross Jesus with his arms stretched wide. He's kind of demonstrating to us that God's mercy is abundant too. God's always ready to forgive us. Raise your hand if you ever had to forgive somebody. We all have to do that. We make mistakes, we do things. Sometimes we can even intentionally do something that we really know is wrong. And we need to ask forgiveness. And that's what we do. Some of you are probably studying the sacrament of confession or reconciliation. That's another beautiful part of Lent, to celebrate the mercy of not just the Father in the story, but the mercy of God the Father. And what we also learn is that we have to forgive the way God forgives us. And that's hard to do, isn't it? When someone hurts us or takes something that's not theirs, and they maybe break it or mess it up, we can get angry, we can get hurt, we can be sad. And it's hard to forgive. It was hard for the father in the story to forgive his son for doing all those wrong things. But God is always ready to forgive us if we're willing to say we're sorry. And that's what Lent really is all about. Mercy is another way of saying God's always ready to forgive us and to help us live as his children. You know that God never stops loving us? Even if we say, God, I don't love you, which I know we're not going to say that, but even if we did, God would still say, you're my son, you're my daughter, I love you. And I'm ready to forgive you if you'll only ask for that forgiveness. So I think a great thing that this story reminds us, certainly it reminds us of the wonderful mercy that Jesus offers us. But it also reminds us in all the little ways, maybe even today, when you go out on the playground for recess, maybe something will happen that makes you angry or makes you upset. Maybe you didn't get your turn. And instead of getting upset, remember the father in the story. It's a story of mercy and forgiveness. And that's the way we're called to live. Let me close with a little vocabulary lesson. It's kind of a tough word. I'm not going to ask anybody to spell it. But you may have heard it before. And sometimes it's easier just to hear words, and then gradually we can learn to read them and understand them. A lot of times you'll hear this story described as the story of the prodigal son. I really like that word prodigal. And we need to really think about what does prodigal really mean? It really means greatly abundant. So the prodigal son was abundant in what he did wrong. But in that story, it's a prodigal father also. spelling test? Okay, you backed off. But maybe that's a good thing to do for this week. You got today and tomorrow. You think you can learn how to spell prodigal? Probably. Sure you can. I know you're smart. But it's great to listen to those words. And next time when maybe the priest at Mass or the deacon talking about the prodigal son, remember what that really means. It means wonderfully abundant mercy. The wonderful prodigal just means greatly abundant. And so the son was abundantly bad, but the father was abundantly merciful. So when you hear it called the story of the prodigal son, really think about what that means. And it's a great story for Lent because we always celebrate God's prodigal mercy, God's abundant mercy. It's so much that it never stops. God is always ready to forgive us. And that's a great thing to celebrate during the Lenten season. Let's stand now and offer our prayers together.